Hello, this is Dave Rasmussen. I'm a Star Ambassador with Vemma, and this video training is going to cover the question, why Vemma? Sometimes when you're out talking about the business opportunity with people, they're going to pose that question to you. Why Vemma? Why should I join Vemma? And I'm just going to give you some information that's going to help arm you when they ask that question. The economy, there's several different reasons, but probably the main reason is the economy. The economy is sagging. People are out there. They're hurting. They're getting laid off. They're on the verge of getting laid off. They know people that are getting laid off, and even people with jobs that are with corporate America are looking for backup plans or a safety net, if you will, just in case they do get laid off. So there's a need out there that we can fill with the Vemma opportunity, but the economy is fueling a lot of this fire. People are filing bankruptcy. In Arizona last year, if a person who filed bankruptcy could have made an additional $300 a month, they would have avoided bankruptcy, because if you take that $300 and you compound it month after month, then you get into a situation where you can never recover, and the only way out is to file bankruptcy. People are looking for solutions. They're out there. They're hungry. They're in need. They're hurting, and they're looking for a solution. And when you have a solution to a crisis, you typically have the key to the vault. So, people are looking for more money. And you have a way that you can show them how to have their own business with not a huge capital investment, and they can create an income for themselves just by putting in some sweat equity. So let's go ahead and talk about a few other things that are fueling this fire. 97% of the people are dead or dead broke by the time they're 65. My question is, why is that? And the main reason for that is because that's what we're taught. It's sad but true. You're taught to, the 40-year plan, basically to go to school and to get good grades. And once you get good grades, you come out of school and you get a job working for somebody else. And you work with that. That job. If you're lucky, you're working one job for one employer for 40 years, and then you work until you're 65, and then you retire. Okay, and that's what 97% of the people out there do. Let's talk about the other 3%. Let's talk about the financially independent. What do? Typically, they own their own business. It's hard to work for somebody else and create wealth and create security for yourself. Because typically what you have to do is you have to put your money to work. And when you trade hours for dollars, it's really hard to set aside money unless you have a really good income. It's hard to set aside money and put your money to work. Most people are working check to check or living check to check. And so what we do is we show you how to leverage your time, because most people in the financial world, they leverage their money, but we show you how to leverage your time if you don't have a lot of money, and then leverage your efforts, and you can join the 3% that way. What you can do is you can leverage your time, leverage your efforts, create a secondary income, and take that income and put that money to work for you, and then you can start leveraging your money. Here's the traditional business model. The problem with having your own business is typically what's out there is you've got to put a lot of cash up front to invest. You got to have a lot of capital to start with. You got to buy inventory. You got to have overhead, advertising, rent, property taxes, utilities, and you've got to have employees, which starts a whole new set of challenges. You got payroll tax, Social Security, workman's comp. There's liability. It goes on and on. There's got to be timing involved. You got to be in a business where the marketplace is receptive to what it is you're marketing. There's going to be long hours, especially if you're minding the store and you don't have any employees. Even if you do, there's also going to be risk involved. You could open a store, open a business, and the business may not survive, and then you lose everything that you started with. Okay, so let's compare that with the Vemma business model. Okay, with the Vemma business model, you virtually got no overhead. You start this business and you can do it, from your laptop, at your kitchen table. If you have your own home office, that's even better. You've got no inventory. You don't have to start with any inventory. You don't have any employees. Everybody's a contracted, person that you enroll, brand partners. They're all not employees. They're independent contractors. You've got no payroll. The company pays everybody for you. You've got no insurance you have to worry about, no quotas. Here's a biggie. You've got no boss. You've got brand partners that enroll you, and the people above them that enroll them, they have a vested interest in your success. So you virtually don't have any bosses. You've got team members that are committed to help you succeed, which is a little different than corporate America. And there's virtually no risk because there's not a lot of capital that you have to get started. In the Vemma business, you don't have to put a lot of capital up, so there's virtually no risk. The timing is absolutely perfect, like I talked about earlier. People are looking for an opportunity. They're looking for a way to make additional income, and so the timing is absolutely perfect. You've got a solution to a crisis. You can offer that to them. We don't sell the business opportunity. We don't pitch anybody. We don't beg them. We don't bug them. We just offer them an opportunity to go take a look at what it is we have to offer. And if they're interested, then we enroll them and we coach them and train them and we help them succeed. So that's kind of the Vemma business model in a nutshell. Now let's talk about the timing, as far as Vemma and the industry as a whole. Okay, because if you look at network marketing, this industry that we're talking about, where you enroll other people and they buy product and they enroll other people, it's called network marketing. And there's 4 stages of a network marketing company. So if you look at this industry as a whole and you look at the 4 stages, how do you position yourself for success? Okay, typically when a company formulates, it'll take them anywhere between 6 months and a year to come up with the idea and to formulate the plan, and then to go ahead and put all the pieces in place and get ready to launch their company. They'll typically have a pre-launch stage, and where they'll make sure that all the pieces of the machine are working properly, payroll and shipping and manufacturing and all of that good stuff, whether they manufacture the product themselves or whether they have it manufactured, but they make sure in pre-launch stage that everything is working properly, and then they go ahead and launch. This typically takes a couple of years from the time you formulate until the time you actually launch a company, okay? And then the company goes through a stage called growing the base, and that's another 3 to 7 years where the company will grow their base and will start to get some traction. They'll get the product out there. They'll start opening different countries, and they'll have the base set, and it all puts you in position for the next phase, which is called momentum. Okay, and historically over the years, the companies that have succeeded have all gone through this curve, if you will, these 4 stages. Okay, and when you have positioned yourself in a company that's actually pre-momentum, and you build your downline, you build your organization, and the company hits momentum, it starts catching on around the world. The growth starts doubling and tripling, and companies start growing monthly tenfold. It all is a timing factor that you have to be able to position yourself in a company pre-momentum. And if you look at the Vemma Opportunity, we're just starting our 7th year, or we're just into our 7th year. Here's where you're at. Our company is pre-momentum. My advice to you, is, are you in the right place at the right time? My advice to you is to look into it, check, make sure that you're in the right place at the right time. But that's only the first part of the equation. You can be in the right place at the right time, but if you don't do anything about it, you're going to miss the opportunity. The key to success is to take massive action and grow your downline, get people involved, talk to them and grow your team as big as you can grow it before this company hits momentum, because when it does, there's a good chance that your team is going to grow tenfold overnight. So I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. People are going to ask you, why Vemma, why now? Plug them into this training video so they can decide for themselves whether this makes sense from a logical standpoint, from a business standpoint. So have yourselves a great day, folks. Appreciate you taking the time, and welcome aboard.